We're going to be chatting about how to increase facial treatment bookings and rebookings. Sorry, this is going to be focusing on how to increase rebookings. So I'm just going to wait for Elizabeth to hop on here.
Okay, yes. So, for those that don't know, the amazing Meg, Marketing with Meg. I can hear you both. Okay, and my name's
Awesome.
Elizabeth Donat. We're so excited to talk about rebooking today. Like, and please, as we're going, like, tell us what your struggles are, or
Yes.
like you had. I love what you said. Your tip, like, I'm filling up, I'm booked up. Okay, now you can hear it. Awesome.
Now they
Thank you,
can hear
Rosie
us. Thank
Radiance.
you.
I had some issues with the sound. I clicked it up. Okay, perfect. Meg saved my life. Oh my God.
Thank you.
I believe it. That's awesome. Tell us how.
Yeah.
Um, with her amazing graphics, tell us how.
My
So,
graphics, my master classes, everything and in
yep.
between.
Meg's always putting out the most amazing content for everyone, for all of us SDs.
Letty's here.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
Letty.
Letty. She's in
Letty
our
is a gold tier
amazing,
student
yeah, she's a gold tier student.
on our
And
sales
so
academy.
yes, she comes in for our monthly calls, which we'll see you next Tuesday
Yes.
for our call.
I'm
Oh, I see one from Stephanie, medical station. Yes. Okay. So the clinic I work at, we struggle with feeling like we always need to have some promo on to bring people in. Ooh, this is a big one. So promo, I'm assuming
Mhm.
like some type of like discount or freebie. And then in between the promos, it's
It's
quiet.
quiet. Yeah.
Gosh, this is a good one. So, can you expand more? What type of promos are those exactly? Are they more like discounted promos or give gifts with purchase or free add-ons? Like, tell us more about that.
Mhm.
And then it seems like it's quiet in between. That is a big, that's definitely a big one.
Like
Like it's
percent off
percent off
treatments.
treatments.
Yeah.
So that particular spa might have a clientele that's just used to it. Like Meg, you could chime in, but like the clients are probably conditioned to that, right? In a
Yeah.
certain
Because you're
way,
like
would you
training
say?
them. You're gonna train them to get used to the percentage offs. I would
Yeah,
say this is the thing, it's gonna take time because you've trained them to get used to the percentage off.
right.
Um, if you were to reduce it, could you kind of pillow it and cushion them a bit by offering like what Elizabeth's saying, like with a complimentary add-on or something that's not as, or maybe like a goodie bag for someone, whoever, books in X treatment that month. I
Yep.
think it's a very, very big something that's very common with a lot of new businesses and service-based
Mm-hmm.
businesses where you think, okay, like to increase buzz, I'm gonna start tons of like
Discounting.
discounts, and then people get used to it, and then it's just like you can't convert unless it's a discount.
Yeah.
um yeah.
Yeah, this
That
is
is.
where like strategically business wise, you want to lean away from the discounts. If you still want a discount, my advice to like my spa consulting clients was always like create a monthly discount. So it's not always just like a random weekly thing. It's like they know for the month of September, this is what is the discount's going to be maybe on certain products or I know services that you want to highlight.
Mhm.
And then in terms of getting them to come in and rebook, it's like that's when your gifts with purchase, like lean into the products and the freebies. I remember someone told me a long time ago, never discount your services. You can give products away and freebies away, but your services are your hands, and you
Mm.
don't want to discount those
Yeah.
because that's your training, that's your background. So lean more into freebies, and then you can hit up your vendors for that too and be like, hey, can you send me 12 of this? Like really hit up those vendors. They have a budget for that and ask them
Mhm.
like, what can you provide me? I'm doing a promotion this month. And then you can start rebooking like, book your hydrofacial this month and the first, 20 people are going to get a full size cleanser from whatever line
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
carry. So yeah, definitely lead with products as an incentive, not
Yeah.
discounts for sure.
I really
So,
agree with that. But also, before we move on, I just want to say that it might take a bit for people to unlearn this.
hmm
And if you move more into like providing discounts, like freebies, product freebies, or discounts more on products, know that it could take a year to like retrain people. But if
yeah,
you can get through that period, I think the clinic you're going to be at is going to be in a lot better place. And also, you don't want to get like known as the place that's always running discounts.
Yes.
Because then people can question and be like, why are they always running discounts? But I do
Yep.
find like if you're always running service discounts, what Elizabeth said, and if you divvy it up with products or perhaps giving freebies, that's not really like seen as like all these service discounts, right? It's a good way to kind of, you don't get that vibe where it's like, why are they heavily discounting everything? It's just more into the
Yes.
mix, right? And
Yep.
you also can pique people's interest in areas that they might not have been interested in before, like your products. Maybe they just saw you for services and they were so obsessed with their current skincare regime, but then the minute you start offering like maybe like a free full size cleanser like you were saying,
Yeah.
they could try that and they could love it, and then that's like their entryway to a full product line with your clinic.
Totally. Oh, there's so many good things coming in. So, could they raise prices and then make their regular prices the discount? Again, I feel like I know that strategy can work, but then it's still not changing the mentality of your clientele. There's still going to be that discount seeking client, which, yeah, I like what Mike said, like try to get them out of that mentality. Just be patient about it. It could
Yeah.
take time, it could take a year,
Mhm.
but if it's causing frustrations for you, it's the way to go. That would be the strategy to kind of ease out of that. And then
It's so
Stephanie,
common.
so thank you, Sweet Grace Aesthetic. And then Stephanie, medical esthetician. How do we feel about doing theme treatments like Halloween facial for October, where it's discounted, but rather a special facial to create buzz, excitement? I
I'm
like
very
it. I don't know, Meg, what do
pro
you
that.
think?
I'm
Yeah.
very pro that. I'm very pro, like, obviously, as a marketing professional, clinging on to relevancy,
Yeah.
right? Like, if something is really buzzy, can you create a post around that, right? So why can't you create a service around that,
Yeah.
You do it
Yeah.
same for like seasonally, right? And like spring and summer skincare, you're just kind of tapping into
Yeah.
um, seasons as well. Halloween facial for October. That's fun. I
Yeah.
see because I see all you guys from afar, right? My whole explore page is you guys, and lots of people do Halloween facials. I love it.
Yeah. It's nice. It mixes it up. There's a bit of novelty to that, and
Fun.
it's fun. And that's a great way to have like other people come in too, like bring your friend this month for our, like holidays are a fun experience if you're doing something to bring other people in and get some referrals coming in
Hmm.
too. Let's see. Okay, then we have, so thank you to Stephanie, medical esthetician. And oh, I love it. Okay, I'm so glad that works. And then I think keeping an email list and marketing new treatments you have and a product that corresponds with the treatment would probably help. Ooh, I like that. That's
That's from Daniela.
Daniela. Yeah, that's true. The email list marketing. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, yeah, Meg is the expert on this, but yeah, a lot of estheticians don't have time or they get overwhelmed with email marketing, but I agree that's huge.
Yeah.
So nice.
And then, so she suggested when you have a new treatment that you link up a product with that treatment when you promote it on your email list. And I think that's a really great idea.
That is a really good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Great.
again, work those vendors. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're afraid to ask, but you never know if what the company will provide you and it costs you absolutely nothing. So I feel like they have huge multi-million dollar budgets. So hit them up. That's usually my go-to. Hit them up for samples, hit them up for travel sizes, hit them up for full sizes. You never know what your sales rep might even have in the trunk of her car. Just like,
Yeah.
hey, you got anything you want to get rid of? Anything burning a hole in your trunk? Like, give it to me. And you never know. You could create little freebies with that. Hey,
Freebies
Lindsay.
are little goodie bags. Little
Yep.
things also that you can kind of hype up, a little goodie bag that you give your clients like after their treatment. That can
Yep.
also just help to enhance the client experience, right?
Yep.
I talk a bit about how um your clients are like the cool kids, kind of like
Hmm.
when someone's in your treatment room, like you really, really want to make them feel special. And it's all about
Yep.
that client experience. That's what the whole Spa Owner Sales Academy is. We literally share how to like tidy up your salon, your spa, so
Yep.
that even your checkout desk isn't cluttered. Because little things like that can impact the client experience. But like giving them like a nice little product, like goodie bag after their facial or their facial treatment, and then just like wording it like, hey, like I noticed you're struggling with X with your skin, and we're working towards your X skin goals. Here's a little goodie bag that I want to send you home with today with like XYZ products that'll help you even
Oh,
more,
yeah.
kind of thing. And you
I
out.
love that. Everyone loves a freebie. Everyone loves, like, I love that word that you said, Meg, like that entryway into the products because,
Mhm.
they already have stuff at home. They're like, how are they gonna break into your products? Like samples and travel sizes are huge.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then it builds that reciprocity where it's like you give your client something and then they feel like, I want to give you something back, so I'll buy it. And,
Mhm. Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm.
but
You
since
planting
we,
the seed too. I love to give
and then let,
samples.
yeah, they buy it. They really do.
Yeah. Like you said, I love to give samples, and most of the time they buy it. Yeah. Try before you buy is really big.
Try
And the fact that you're
before you
giving
buy.
them that option is really great.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, that's how you differentiate yourself. Like they're not going to be able to go into Sephora or go into Ulta or go into a department store and necessarily get a nice big sample of something that they want to try. Those places have testers, but we know we're not touching those testers, those dirty testers. So the fact that you actually have a product they can go home and use for a week or a few days is amazing. They
Yeah.
they want that.
And usually the tests, I find that the samples you get at spas and like facial clinics are much bigger. Like if you were to walk into
Mhm.
Sephora, you get like Sephora for makeup and they give you like 1,000 like primer samples and they're like
Yeah.
those little square packets.
Yeah, they're
But then
nothing.
whenever you go, yeah, but then whenever you go get a facial and you get a sample from your esthetician, it's always like a proper sized
Yes.
sample. And you're like, wow, thanks, I can actually use this in
Yes.
for a long enough time where I can base an opinion on it. I think that's really key too. You wouldn't want to give them like a tiny sample where they literally can use it like what, like 2 or 3 times and then that's
Yeah.
not enough time, right?
It's nothing. Yeah. It's nothing. I love, okay, so if anyone has any other rebooking issues, definitely chime in. Oh, I love that, Danielle. I love that. Even if you have a product that hasn't dropped yet, selling them in store would definitely create buzz. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what the major beauty brands do. Like this is kind of the work that I'm doing right now with like press and PR is just that like we can copy the same strategies and like the larger beauty media companies, they know how to make that buzz. They
Mhm.
know, and like we can recreate that same buzz in our spas by following the same techniques that they do with like, getting the buzz out there. They do pre-sales like, oh, the product will be in our spa in 3 months, but if you want to get your hands on it first, you can pre-sell it to them before you even have it. And there's so many techniques there that are really fun and
Yeah. And look
they're
at how influencers do it, right? Like how many times have you seen an influencer using like a makeup product or a hair product that hasn't even dropped yet? They get
hmm
early access, right?
Yep.
That's strategic. That's how that business is building buzz because they're utilizing influencers. You can kind of look at your clients as your personal influencers, right? If you really make them happy and be on your side, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, my esthetician, she gave me like this sample, this product to
Oh
their friend,
yeah.
and then it like made maybe their friend compliments their skin next time they're out and they're like, yeah, she gave me a sample but it's not even out yet, you know
Yes.
just like
Yeah.
that comment, immediately like their friend is like, who's your esthetician,
Yeah.
how are they getting samples of this before, like why are you getting stuff that's like before it's launched kind of thing, and then it's like that
Yeah.
immediate like FOMO,
Yep.
like so much of this is like based on psychology. It's like getting under people's skin, like strategically, making sure that you're aligning with their values, creating FOMO, making sure that you're making your clients feel like I said, I shared a post, I think last week or this week, and it was talking about like your clients are your cool kids, right? You guys are like
Yep.
literally the cool kids. Um, and making them feel really special in that
Yeah.
sense.
That's so true. And like in the treatment room side of it, as estheticians, when we're tired, we're trying to get, let's say you have 7 people on your books that day, you're just trying to get through it some
Mhm.
days. Like you're just surviving. I've
Mhm.
been there where I'm like, how am I going to make it through this day? Like it's just such an energy suck.
Mhm.
So you're just literally trying to get through the service. But then you're like forgetting that sometimes that love and that like feeling we have to give the clients too, where they're like, oh my God, like I'm the only person in the world right now. And like Liz is giving me this experience I can't get anywhere else. So we have to remind ourselves that during those long days, where we get
You
tired and we
get
forget. But
tired. But
yeah.
people pick up on this. I shared a post the other day about the emotions you feel during your treatment.
Oh yeah, that
And
was
I got
good.
a lot of, yeah, I got a lot of comments saying that it's an energy
Hmm.
exchange because they can feed off your energy.
Yeah.
And I really agree with that. Like, what was it? Last week I got my Botox done, and where I go is like a very medical place. And I felt rushed. I
Mm.
felt like when I was having a conversation with the dermatologist, like she was just thinking about who was in the next
Oh,
room. And actually
yeah.
when I was sitting in the treatment room and the door was shut, I heard someone come to the door with her, give her a poster and say, "This is Megan in this room." Like as in like she just goes from room to room, right? And
Mm-hmm.
people catch up on that energy, and I think that's why, like, I think I was talking about this in the last live, like the resurgence of touch and how people really like facial massage, because I think we're not getting that experience anymore. People are like used to being like shimmied along, you know, oh, my next
Yep.
client's like right after you. And by actually just taking that time and like sinking in to the energy with your client, like understanding that they're here for an experience, and you're educated, you have the skills to provide them with this experience for their skin, but also like energetically, where
Mm-hmm.
you're going to help ground them. They really, really feed off that. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's definitely a specific way how you can increase rebookings, because people, we just don't have that anymore.
Yep.
Like everyone is so busy, and the minute like you kind of make a client feel like they're like a second choice,
Mm.
they're just gonna take note of
Oh,
that.
yeah, they feel it. And I was gonna say
They
too,
feel
like,
it.
you have to clear your energy between each client too, whatever technique works for you, whether it's just like a few seconds of deep breathing. Like I would physically like cut the cords and kind of remove, because clients dump a lot on us. They vent to us. It's a private,
Mm-hmm.
intimate space. We hear a lot of their issues and we hold on to that. And sometimes we're thinking about that even into the next client. We're like, geez, I can't believe she just told me that. Like there's a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to cleanse that energy in between clients so you're like fresh and ready to go for the next one, because they totally will pick up if you're, like you said, distracted or like pushing them along. They know and they don't appreciate it at all. And
Mm-hmm.
that could be a game changer for not rebooking for sure. They'd be like,
Oh,
no,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, no, today wasn't good. Liz wasn't like on the level. I didn't feel like she was really listening. I'm gonna go find someone else. Like, I'm not paying, they just get frustrated. They're like, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
a lot I get in my DMs, a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's so saturated. And that's definitely, yes, the industry is saturated, but you can stand out by giving your clients more of that like personal connection where they're not going to feel rushed,
Hmm.
because I think a lot of people are skipping over that. But yeah, it definitely is an energy exchange. I know because I'm a service-based provider as well for you guys. This is something I can actually, I also have like real life experience with. And for me, creating, I talked about this before, like creating more of like a life outside of work and getting like I run multiple times a week. I go to Rumble, so I punch out like frustrations, you know. You don't
Yeah.
want to you want to make sure that, so when I show up for you guys, I'm showing up in a place of service, and it's not like something that's bugging me that happened on Monday is like in the back of my head, right? You want to make sure you want to protect yourself first so that you can show up as the best possible service provider.
Hmm.
And I think definitely if you guys have like busy days like that, really making sure, you know, in the morning, like, do you have a nice like morning routine? Like, are you meditating? Are you making sure you get outside and go for a walk before you come in for work? I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, Stephanie, the clinic I work at has about 1,900 clients. If these clients would
Um,
come in monthly, my schedule would be more than full. How do I lean into them? Ooh,
Stephanie,
1,900 clients. Nice.
who else are the skincare professionals? Like, is it kind of like everyone shares clients there, or
Are you in like a medical spa setting with other providers that are doing multiple things, or are you all
do you have your own clients?
estheticians?
Because something that just popped, only you, and there's 1,900 clients.
Wow.
These clients would come in monthly to schedule, would be, my schedule would be full. Well, something that popped up really quick was, I don't know how active they are with email, a small family owned med spa, one nurse injector and myself.
Hmm.
Okay. In like the email marketing, I'm hoping
Do they
a large percentage of,
promote you?
yeah, like, are you doing like, hey, meet our medical esthetician Stephanie kind of thing?
Yeah, I hope they
Um,
promote you.
I hope they're allowing people the opportunity to learn more about who is going to be touching their face. Um, Obviously through social media, but a really good marketing would be like to do that via email.
I was going to say too, I've experienced this personally as an esthetician. There's two types of medical spas in the world. I feel like there's medical spa owners who bring in estheticians because they think they should, but they don't really know what we do and don't really appreciate us. And they just like, oh yeah, I have an esthetician here. And then we're just in our own little world.
Mhm.
Or there's the medical providers that really love what we do and they work synergistically together. So it depends what the vibe is. A small family-owned medical spa, one nurse and myself. I do the newsletter, 1,300 are subscribers. Wow. So do you feel like they are really supporting your the aesthetic sector of the business, or do you feel like you're on your own? Like, I would love to
Mhm.
know that because I've experienced both and it's night and day. Like, if they're also saying, like, oh, you'd get a better result from this laser treatment, like if the nurse says you'd get a better result, let's say, from this laser treatment if we also sold you a package of facials with Stephanie. Like, are they cross promoting you?
Mhm.
On my own. So it's an energetic, it's like she's on her own. Do you
Not cross
give
promoting.
do you give the nurse treatments? Like, have you been giving the other staff, that nurse, a treatment? Does she know how good your hands are? Does she know what you're doing in your room? I hope so.
I
And then
feel like you
Summer, we'll
should
get to your
connect
comment.
more with the nurse injector, Stephanie, for this and see if you perhaps are coming across, maybe it's coming across more singular when you're putting out your messaging, but is there a way to make it sound more like a team effort? And then, yeah, what Elizabeth was saying, you can introduce cross promotion in that sense. I think within the treatment room, like when she's giving someone Botox, she should definitely be talking about your services
Yeah.
and in a like a facial that you offer that could help that individual move towards their skin goals as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Does she ever have you come in? Like, I remember I worked with a physician who, if he was coming across skin problems and I was free, he would be like, hold on, let me have Liz come in and talk to you for a minute. Like,
mhm.
it'd be nice if the doctor could introduce, the nurse could introduce you, to the clients too. She doesn't want to
To
pressure or
pressure or
create and say,
create insecurities.
yes,
But
yes,
you're not pressuring or you're not pressuring or creating insecurities to the clients.
yes, it's, yeah,
That's a
her
mindset
mindset.
thing, like at all. She's not. You're further helping them because you
Right.
know your services are going to help them more. Like that's awesome. If my place that I got my Botox also was like, oh, and by the way, we're doing this like seasonal promo we have, or because you're getting Botox with us, we're offering just this like certain facial package for our existing
Mm-hmm.
clients, kind of thing. It's in my head. I'm not like, oh, she thinks my skin's bad. It's like you would word it specifically. You're not like going to point out and be like, "Oh, I noticed your skin looks dry."
No.
It's kind of you're not going to start it with that. You're going to start it with like, "I know the seasons are changing and many of our clients are experiencing drier skin, so we have this like awesome um offer right now for our existing clients," kind of thing. It's all
Mm-hmm.
the way she's wording it. But know that like she'll never be pressuring or creating insecurities as long as she doesn't focus like on her clients, right? Like you're not going to lead with that.
So yeah, so Stephanie said she is giving that nurse weekly treatments, but yet the nurse, so sometimes medical professionals, if anyone out there can correct me if I'm wrong or
Mhm.
chime in on this, but like a lot of medical professionals, like they took the Hippocratic Oath and it's like they just feel like it's like everything is a procedure, a diagnosis and then a procedure and then an
Mhm.
outcome, whereas like we are there to work in that gray area in the middle, like we are there to fill the gaps and to like smooth things over to make things beautiful. And so that doesn't necessarily always fit into their state of mind as like medical licensed professionals, but yet she's coming in to see you every week for treatment. So she must love what you do. That's a good one. I think we have to get the messaging clearer with that nurse, and she needs to really promote you. And she's going to get better outcomes for her lasers or injectables or whatever she's doing if the client barrier and great looking, skin.
Mhm.
Do you mentor medical spas, not just estheticians? Because my boss, who is also a nurse injector, is open to marketing with my encouragement. That's great. Yeah, Meg. Maybe that's something
She sounds
because
she'd be a really good option for the Spa Owner Sales Academy
yeah,
because it just sounds like she needs a better understanding of who she's helping, and she needs to turn on a bit of her marketing brain
yes.
and creative brain, and the Spa Owner Sales Academy provides that foundation because when you're so used to seeing things like in medical world, like black and white, like it's not like that
Yep.
really outside of it. So I think we have a bunch of lessons. I'll put them in the caption of actually this live because I'm going to post this to my feed. I'll put in some of the lessons that we'd recommend if you want to further education off of these topics. But because yeah, she definitely it definitely seems like, and also Stephanie yourself, you're like more in tune with marketing. I think you need to not step up, but take the lead a little here because you know this a bit more than her, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you're like ever feeling doubtful about yourself. Like I wouldn't feel doubtful about yourself. Like you and I were
Yeah.
chatting, Stephanie and I were chatting in her DMs the beginning of summer. Like Stephanie knows her stuff, and I think, don't ever doubt yourself when you're saying like, actually I think this would be better for marketing, because I can see that you've really put in the work and you're really, like I said, you just know your stuff
And
kind of
she's
thing.
doing the newsletter.
She's
So
running the
obviously, if she's
newsletter.
trusting
She's
you to do
already
the
kind of like,
newsletter, then that's huge. Oh, another comment came in. Her necessity. I work at a med spa. I'm an esthetician. We have a nurse as well. We're opening a second location. Oh, that's awesome. So maybe if you're still here, her necessity, you can chime in on how that second location came to be. Did you have an
mm-hmm,
overflow of clients? Because it sounds like something is going really right over there.
mm-hmm,
And then Summer, hey Summer, I don't know if you're still here. The other day I had a client ask me about my new Pro Cell treatments. Woohoo! I told her about it and she didn't say anything after, didn't express more questions. What did I miss in the pitch? Okay. So Summer, if you're still here, tell us more. What was your pitch? Tell us
oh,
about
she's
how that
here.
went. Okay, good.
Also,
So she didn't
before,
have
while Summer,
questions.
I'm sure she might add
I'm
more
I'm
details.
here.
And we
Okay.
talk about this a lot. I talk about this a lot. You have to get comfortable with people saying no, and just because they're saying no now doesn't mean it's going to be a no down the line.
Yeah.
Um, you explained it to her. Some people take, this is why on marketing they say that people need to see your messaging like 7 times before they're going to take any
Yes.
action. And I almost want to say it's like more now, just because of the way social media and like the amount of messages we're getting every single day. I'd say people have to see stuff from your brand a lot more. You felt like it landed flat. Well, if you feel like it landed flat, it doesn't mean it's going to land flat forever, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
always just make a note of that. Maybe is there a better way to approach it in the next service? Is there a follow-up email you could send to her that might connect with her better? Sometimes people, when they're in the treatment room, it can be potentially overwhelming for them,
Right.
and maybe hitting her up with a specific email where you're like just reiterating the details you shared within the treatment room and stuff like that is a better means of communicating with her. What's really great about estheticians and you guys is that you speak with people one on one, but you also can like email these people as well and get them maybe in a place where they're more comfortable at home, you know?
Yeah. And then again, like every treatment is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me during her facial service. Oh,
Oh,
so
she
there's
asked you during
something
her service
there.
about
Okay.
ProCell. So yeah, and that's probably going to catch you off guard because you're doing the service.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't want answering her question about a new treatment during your service to take away from her client experience and her like relaxation. That is a sticky situation. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think also too, like if you sometimes my tactic for when I felt like I needed to get out of sales mode quickly, because like let's say you're in a service and you're like, oh darn, do I want to do my sales pitch right now? I'm in the middle of her
Mm-hmm.
treatment. Um, I will go into what the service has done for me. So I'll be like, I might like just kind of tease her, be like, honestly, I will give you all the information as soon as we're done. I know you're relaxing right
Mm-hmm.
now, but like all I can tell you is that since I've been doing ProCell, I can't believe how smooth my skin has been. I'm just so happy with my fine lines disappearing and just be like, again, I'll show you
Yeah.
everything when we finish
When
today.
we
Just
finish,
tease
that's
them.
so
Yeah,
good.
just
That's so
keep a
good.
cliffhanger so that they're like,
Cliffhanger.
oh, okay.
And
And
also,
then it shows that you're respecting their time and
yes,
their
that's
relaxation
so
time.
good.
Yeah.
And also, you could be like, I'm just going to make a note of this.
Yeah, I'll write
Like,
this
so you
down.
actually don't forget.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we don't want it to take away from their client experience.
Yeah.
They're there for their facial treatment. Beauty Savior said, can you give experience on how to market for a solo esthetician? My entire
Oh,
page is about marketing
yes.
for solo estheticians and
Yeah.
spa owners. So you can take a look at my content. If you feel the need, you can send me a DM and I will show you which way to to go based off of what your specific questions are, because that's a very broad question. So I want to
Yeah,
provide
it's
you the
huge.
best
Anything
possible.
specific? And Beauty Saver, is there anything specific with your marketing that you want to ask Meg about? Because yes, she's the marketing master for solos, but it's yeah, like she said, it's a huge, broad topic.
It's a very,
So
very big topic.
let's see. And there was another comment that came through. I'm new to the SD world. I'm trying to build clientele. It's my first year. Oh, that's just
That's
J
awesome.
Aesthetics. Welcome,
Congrats.
welcome to the world. Yeah, building clients, huge. This is, wow, that's another broad topic too, but really, your consultation is so important and your skin analysis. So right away when they meet you, they know that you're a pro and you're guiding them and educating them. So huge. Rosie Radiance, how do you feel about Instagram and Facebook ads? Another big one.
That's a big
Meg,
one.
that's all
I'm very
you.
pro. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with using Facebook ads and Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Big fan. I think because there is so much on social media, if you can set aside a specific ad budget for ads every month, I think it's a really great way to make sure you're getting right under the screens of the people you want. I think
Hmm.
I'm very, very pro Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, yeah, you know your ideal client. I'm just trying to figure out how to reach them via social media. Well, the my first tip would be, okay, to reach them via social media, you want to create content that's for them, right? That's how you're going to attract them. This is a really, really big topic. Uh,
Yeah.
Also, you can go out and find them on social media and you can engage with them and you can put your profile right under them by engaging with their content. But this is really, really big. So yeah, DM me and I can provide you more tips for that. And
Yeah,
I need
and
to get
there's
a
also like some of our singular courses are like we nail all of this. We break all of this down too. Like I was gonna say, there are
the Spotlight Sales
yeah,
Academy
Spana
lessons.
Sales
Yeah.
Academy, we made some things just for that, messaging and like social media. It's incredible. Meg did an amazing job with that if you like to learn at your own
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah, the
Um,
link is in my bio. We had this over a year ago. We started the Spotlight Sales Academy, and then just recently we've made it so you can join as a whole and do the monthly live calls with us, or you can experience the lessons individually a la carte. So you could purchase individual lessons, which makes it a lot more accessible. So Beauty Savior, we actually do have an entire lesson on sales messaging. It's
yes.
in the link in my bio, but of course, if you DM me, I can get more details into who your ideal client is and provide you a bit more customized feedback.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for estheticians starting off seeing clients in their home? Oh my god, I signed up to Meg's Zero Regrets. It's easy to change. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Stephanie is a part of my SD Content Club, which provides so much content every month for estheticians. My fear with this is that you don't have the strategy to let this content work for you. You need the strategy and understanding of who your ideal client is in your sale messaging and like what your spa is, your mission statement, all that jazz in order for content to work for you. If you don't have that missing like who I am, who do I want to target, that strategy aspect, that's when the content falls flat.
Right. Yeah, it's so important to know like your mission for your spa. Even if you're just a solo esthetician, you have to have a strong mission statement that you
Mm-hmm.
just say over and over again so clients know that they belong with you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just like, I do skincare, like it's too broad. Why does your client belong with you? What's your mission? And then once you're clear on that, it's so much easier for you mentally too to figure out what services do I want to bring in, what products, because that's what people struggle with too. A lot of estheticians like chase the shiny things like, oh, maybe I'll bring in that technology, I'll bring in that new machine. But once you get clear on your mission, then it makes it easier for you to run your business too and for the dream clients to kind of flow in. So yeah, we have a learning lesson on that too. Hey, Al, do you think your advice courses can be applied as an aesthetic nurse practitioner?
Yeah,
Absolutely. We have a doctor that signed up for our gold tier membership. Absolutely.
because
Yes, yes, yes.
they focus on psychology. That's how I wanted, because sales is all about psychology and getting in behind the scenes and like really connecting. It's not like marketing is like just getting your message out. The Spa Owner Sales Academy is about fine tuning your business so that when you create your posts, you get more from them, kind of thing.
Yes.
And that falls again back on a lot of psychology, which is what I have my degree in.
And
So
both of
I,
us, that's why Meg and I partnered up because there's a lot of people that just do spa marketing and they're like, this is how you drive traffic to your spa. This is how you get eyes on your spa. But I'm an esthetician who has 20 years of experience. So we combine both of our knowledge so you get strategies for in your treatment room, in your clinic, and online. Because
yeah,
as Meg says, both of those experiences have to match.
they have to
You don't want
match.
to hire one, yeah, that you can't hire one spa professional who's teaching you this side and then hire a consultant who's teaching you the other and they don't combine. You know, you need one strategy that's seamless and combines both.
And
Um,
so in all of our lessons, all of our a la carte lessons, or if you choose to buy them all together, Elizabeth and I are in every single
oh
video.
yeah.
Like we did each video like this. So we like chime off of each other. We'll go down random tangents where Elizabeth,
Yeah,
no, but like it's so good. You'll be like,
it's true.
oh, actually, when I was in the treatment room, like what you just said is good. When I was in the treatment room, XYZ happened, and this is how I approached it as well. So like
Yes.
we were making sure we were always covering both sides of the coin because yeah, I just felt like by not having someone who's actually been in the treatment room, I don't know, just being like a bit of a disservice for you guys. So I'm so happy that I have Elizabeth and that she's literally 50-50 in this program. Like you'll never have a lesson where it's not her and I.
Oh, I'm always there chiming in. And I have like a extensive medical background
Yeah.
too. So I've worked with PAs and MDs and nurse injectors and I love it. Like there's so much to draw from that world. There's so much to
Mhm.
draw from the every aspect of the spa industry and high-end clientele, celebrity clientele. That's my background. So
Mhm.
all of that beautiful stuff works and then combined it with Meg's
Marketing.
marketing mastery. Yeah, it's like the perfect combination of two
Mhm.
professionals to help you. So yeah, don't be shy about poking around at our all the offerings. I'm an IG verified account and it's public, but I can only get DMs from people I follow. Is that just something I'm dealing with, or is that the way the DMs work? Ooh, never heard. Meg, that's all you, babe. I
Oh,
know.
that sounds like a setting option.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a setting option because it's very similar to the commenting. There's like a very similar comment setting where you can only get comments from people who are following you. I would go around in your Instagram settings, not in like right off the top of my head. I don't know how to do it, but after this
So it's a
live,
setting issue.
I can message you. Be Loved Clinical. It's definitely a setting issue because I'm the same. I'm IG verified and I get DMs from everyone. Granted, they do go into like the request sometimes. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, where they go into the request.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
go into requests sometimes. Yeah, for me
mhm.
too. And I want to say too, before we
Oh,
wrap up, oh, thank you
yeah.
so much. You're welcome. I feel like too, the reason that we came on for the rebookings portion too is that because so many people DM us saying that they're struggling with rebookings. And like, I think the biggest myth that I wanted to dispel is a lot of the talk that we have around spa rebookings is that if a client doesn't rebook, or if they're like a one and done client, or if there's someone who, you know how sometimes clients will act like they're going to rebook and they're like, oh yeah, definitely, I'll see you next month. And then they
Mhm.
never do. As estheticians and like providers, we jump to the myth. I call it a myth that it's just our pricing.
It's
Like
not.
estheticians hit us up all the time. And they're like, it's my pricing. I think it's my pricing. It's my menu. It's my pricing. And we're like, no, it could be, but that's not the deciding factor. I think for so many clients, is just your pricing. So that's what we were going to kind of touch on today too with rebooking. If you're struggling with rebooking, we really wanted you to look at that client experience. Like we kind of talked about in the beginning, is that what are they feeling? What emotions are they feeling when they're in your spa?
Hmm.
Do they feel like they're being taken care of? Do they have overwhelm? Are they making a ton of decisions when they're with you? Or are
Hmm.
you like their strong skincare guide? So we want to bring that. I know we want to touch on that because
Yeah,
I just couldn't, let that go.
it is one of our most common DMs, and
Yeah.
it's so funny because students of the Spa Owner Sales Academy, it's something they've seen rebookings increase since learning from
Yes.
us. And it's like small changes need to be made within your spa. from the way you speak to people during your facials, when you speak to people during your facials, um, when you're selling during your facials, in on my part, like how you are formatting your messaging on social media. Like the goal for so many estheticians is to get people hooked up onto long-term treatment plans, because that's how we see the biggest results, because skincare
Mm-hmm.
does not happen overnight, as you guys all know. So when you're doing your social media posts, are you talking as though having a treatment plan is the norm? Because
Yes.
having a treatment plan would entail monthly visits with proper rebookings. You need to like ensure that your messaging, like when you share a before and after of your client, say, this is my client Beth. We've been working on her treatment plan. Like she's been so great coming in every single 4 to 6 weeks with her treatment plan, and look at like her results, right? Like the results a lot of times with your before and afters, you're focusing too much on like the service itself that got the
Mm-hmm.
results, when you should format it more as though, yeah, the service was part of it, but so much of it was my dedication as a service provider, them agreeing and like being on board with their treatment plan and being consistent on their end, and the service.
100%.
And that's how you can kind of, because I always say like you have to train, like I always say you have to train your community to like your posts. You have to train them to like engage with you by doing like stories where you're doing like engagement questions and polls, and someone might not be comfortable with commenting, and then before you know it they comment, then before you know it they're commenting on all your posts, then before you know it they're like sending you a DM about a question, and then it
Yep.
snowballs, you know. But you have to
Yes.
train people, so you need to train them to understand that a treatment plan is the norm for your spa.
Yep.
And I
Those
think
consultations, those treatment,
Mhm.
long-term treatment plans are huge. Like, it's like you go to so many other professionals and they give you long-term plans and it doesn't offend you,
No.
doesn't make you sad. Like if you brought your pet to the veterinarian and they were like, well, your dog needs this shot today, and then in 3 months they're going to need this, and then we should do this in 6 months, and then next year we'll do this. That's a treatment plan. Like that pet doctor is telling you what your dog needs, you're going to be like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad I have a broader, zoomed out picture of what the care plan is going to be. It
Mhm.
gives them perspective. And then they know that you're setting up something long term. It's almost like they know that you want them in their space because you're including them in the next year of your life and telling them how it's going to look. If clients leave, especially on that first critical visit, without that idea of how you're going to be servicing them and working with them for the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, they're just going to be like, well, I had a nice facial, but that was it. I guess that was it.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel any, they're not hooked into anything. They don't feel like they've been invited to participate further with you at your
And
spa.
yeah, and this is it. By you laying it out all on the line, even if they say no, 3 months down the line, when they're still struggling with their
Yes.
acne, they're going to be annoyed that they did not agree at that time. They could have been 3 months down the line in their journey, right?
More
So
progress.
by like laying it all out, you're not annoying people. You're like planting seeds.
Hmm.
So down the line, even if they say
Hmm.
no, they're like, oh my God, I should have done that because I could have been 3 months down the line. Like I could not be dealing with this like same acne breakout that I have every single month kind of thing.
Right. Stephanie, for the treatment plan, what is the best practice? Oh, like if you're setting up a long-term treatment plan for a client? Oh, that's another good
What did she
one. One
say?
of my specialties. Let's see. Do you send an
What is
email
this?
using specific template? Just discuss. Okay, yeah, that's a good. So the way that you do it is up to you. Like I've worked in medical spas where like people come in for the first time, they have a really thorough consultation. It includes photographs, it includes like their, thorough intake. So it just depends on what you do. I think you have to set the tone from the first visit, day one, consultation one, where we break this down. I have a learning lesson in the Spa Owner Sales Academy all about consultation and
Yeah.
skin analysis and how you actually do that step by step so that there's no question in their mind that they're going to be rebooking with you for the long term. Like you give them every single clue, every single guidance on that. So really it's that consultation that's so crucial. And without giving too much away, I will say that it should always include two major elements. Like I said, there is the long-term plan for their products and the long-term plan for their skin. And I'll leave it at that. But that those are the two prongs that every client or patient has to see in order to trust you and see that you have a vision for them going forward.
Hmm.
When you do that, I feel like you have a long-term client like almost instantly.
And I do think it should definitely be done in the treatment room,
Yeah.
face to face, because you're the professional, um, and
Hmm.
show up with confidence. And then definitely you can use email as a follow-up means of communication, but
Sure.
don't ever spring a treatment plan on them when you haven't spoken about it face to face. Even if they say no at the time, that still gives you grounds to follow up via email because you face to face have chatted about
Yep.
it. But you can't not talk about it in the treatment room and then be like sending them an email with like their treatment plan.
Yeah, it seems
Like
like, yeah,
it's better
weird.
to get a no to your face because a no doesn't mean it's a no forever. It might
Hmm.
mean no, not at this time, and then you can use other means of communication like email to follow up. I'll be heading to the classes immediately after this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Stephanie, I know you'll really benefit from this as well as your nurse injector.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is huge. And it's really like we created the Smile in Our Sales Academy because we knew that so many of you didn't get this education. Certainly nurses did not. Like
No.
nurses were not learning sales and the psychology of the beauty industry in nursing school. You might have learned it after, but you had to seek out that information. And estheticians all have different backgrounds of education. I used to teach aesthetics, so I know like some schools are amazing. They're the top schools. I happen to go to a top school in New York City. Some schools are not good, and people barely learn anything and they barely pass their state board. So it's like we know that all of you are coming from a different experience. So we're really filling in those gaps for you because now everything's on the line. You own a business, you are making a living doing this. And if you don't have this crucial information, how are you going to succeed? So that's why we put everything in together for you with the course. And it was so fun. We had a blast when we did
Yeah,
it too.
it took us 6 months to film all these lessons. It was such a labor of
Such a
love. I remember,
labor of
yeah,
love.
like we were like visiting different I was visiting my family and I had to like film. And I remember I was like filming at my dad's house and he has like laminate and I had to put blankets all over the floor so that my dog's nails weren't like making noises behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yep. We had
so much
fun.
love.
There
Yeah.
was giggles sessions that had to be edited out. Like
I
there's
edited, yeah. I
yeah,
edited
there's a
all the
lot of
videos.
love.
A
There's
lot
a
of
lot of love.
editing because we would just
Yeah.
like die from laughter.
But yeah, we know that like in our current students who are part of the Gold Tier program, we meet with them every month. We're meeting next Tuesday. And yeah, so much love in that community too. So if you're interested in like going all in and you want that monthly support,
I really
we do offer the
recommend that.
Gold Tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. And then you can come in and we'll do a call every month and we have private email access and everything. So that's
I
been a
know, and
blast too.
people are always surprised. One of our students actually last month during the live call, she's like, "I can't believe I bought this and I actually get to see your guys' faces." She's like, "Because I
She-
bought so many courses and like
yes.
you buy it and then you never hear from the person again." And
Yes.
I knew when I was creating a sales focused program that when we were creating this, it would have to entail something that's monthly following up
Yeah.
because sales is not an overnight thing. Like
No.
I've been saying this whole live that you need to train your audience, you need to train your clients. It's going to take time to see those big changes. So we wanted to make sure that we were like right side by side with our students because there's going to be lots of ups and downs and it's way better to have two professionals right beside you through those ups and downs than just no one.
And we're
Right.
always like the thing that people don't see too behind the scenes is like we'll get private emails in from our students.
Yeah.
And then I always DM Meg and I was like, hey, Meg, what do you think? Like, we'll have a little private session to like help you
Chit
with your
chat.
strategy. And then we'll come back and like get back to you. And, we really want you, the course content to feel fun too. It's a very low pressure,
Yeah.
environment. We're just
Yeah.
about having fun and getting you guys results. And anything we can do to help, we always try
Mhm.
to. So I'm
I know you have
intrigued.
to go soon, Elizabeth,
Yeah, I gotta
right?
go pick up the little guy, but we're gonna do this again. We like our sales sips. This is
They're
fun.
fun.
Maybe like,
A
yeah, we'll do
couple
it
times a
more.
month. We'll see.
Yeah, if there's any topics you guys want us to touch on, like general issues, like just DM us and then we'll do it maybe next for our next sales sip because like rebookings has been coming up a lot. If there's any other topic,
Mhm.
just let us know. You can
Mhm.
DM either one of us
Mhm.
about it. So
You're welcome,
yeah. Thank
Rosie
you so much. You're
Vegas. So thanks
welcome,
so much for
Rosie.
being here, guys. This was a really, really great live.
This is
I love
fun.
when you guys comment because it just makes us feels like we can like directly help you right here. And I think that's what this is the point of lives is like just to connect
Yeah.
with you guys, which is so much fun.
Yeah, totally. Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome, Rosie. This was so much fun. Yeah, and if any questions come up, DM us.
Yeah.
But all right.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right, bye everyone. Bye, Meg. I'll talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Yeah. See you.